more about this there. The participants requested the ability to study the feasibility of recharging the shallow aquifer in Will County. At these events, Joliet Township Supervisor Angel Contreras recognized the need for government to address the issue and stood up and told so. We are honored that Joliet Township took the lead to starting the process to fund the feasibility study. And then in 2024, we had another water summit. That was the one with the Three Rivers Manufacturing. And at that one, Joliet Township Supervisor Alicia Morales spoke at the 2024 Water Summit passionately about government officials' responsibility and the need to fund the feasibility study quickly. Her passionate rhetoric helped inspire the Will County board members to support funding the feasibility study this year as well. So basically Joliet Township took the lead and really partners with us to keep this going. We've been working on this for over 3 years. We continue to learn of lowering water supply across Joliet Township. During the past several years, we've continued to hear of residents having to drill deeper due to that lowering water supply on the east side of Joliet Township, southeast Joliet area, and the west side of Joliet. At the same time, there's a tremendous increase in water demand with the expansion of industry, businesses, and jobs within Joliet and Will County. Will County is one of the fastest growing counties in the United States. Per the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, the population is expected to reach more than 1.2 million by 2040. This growth is taxing the water supply and will continue to do so unless solutions are identified and implemented. This is a critical issue, folks. We need to work together to resolve the lowering water supply problem so shallow aquifer wells will be able to supply water for us and future generations. And our final slide here is kind of our saying that we go by: every drop counts. Our water is a precious resource that we need to pay attention to, plan for at this time and for our future generations. Thank you.
Can I speak a couple, where the township is with this, so you guys are all aware, because there's nothing official, but it's officially unofficial with the county.
If you'd like to come up and.
Yeah, can you elaborate kind of where the township's at with this? Unless anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Amy.
No, this is public comment, so there's really no questions.
Excuse me.
So, you wanna come up?
Yeah, it'll be
Angel?
easier just to add to
Yeah.
where the township is on this. Hi, everyone. Angel Contreras, Policy Program Director of Joliet Township Government. So, apart from the study, she underplayed what the township actually did with involvement. So because of this, they're actually going to start the feasibility study. So at the water summits, while all the officials were there, it was them persistent with Joliet Township government over 3 years to actually be able to get it done. So not only with the Illinois State Water Survey, which is the actual scientists, Army Corps of Engineers is going to be involved in this, and this study and its feasibility will actually allow for regions beyond Will County to see what will actually happen. So the county actually committed to the entire amount, which was,
140,000.
what was that?
140,000.
140,000. And then it might expand, it goes in phases. So Joliet Township's involvement in our own portions, which are significant though, will actually dictate what can happen beyond Will County in this feasibility. So it is more than just the township, what this study is going to be able to do. This will actually be an example region-wide, statewide, and beyond, because we are in an area that's very unique right now. The city itself is obviously recognizing what's going on with water. We have the pipeline coming in, and this Joliet Township involvement in this will actually give a study of what would also be feasible in the future, and now is the best time to make sure any adjustments that need to happen with Joliet Township's unincorporated areas with their various types of water supply to be incorporated into the master plan. So this all happened at the right time, not only just for recharging the aquifer, but to get a real analysis of what all the water issues are in the unincorporated areas, because they are vast and they are dire. And this study goes beyond just what they said. So this is gonna have a bigger and very fast impact. So the township literally took a step forward into making sure generations to come will have safe water. So it's gonna have a much bigger regional impact than just Joliet Township. So it's, with the work they did as volunteers, it shows volume what they were able to accomplish. And just as Joliet Township was advising them, like 3 years for something like this is actually very fast. So I think when they spoke to other officials statewide, even though it took 3 years, they've never seen actually something move this fast from plan of conception and the smallest municipality to take it on and advise and make sure it happened, like on a big level. So I just wanna say kudos to them for what they were able to provide. And through Joliet Township, like allowing involvement in this to make sure it comes to fruition, it's a big deal. Alright, just wanna add some context.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you turn that?
Controlling the.
Oh, yeah, that's over here.
Ah,
There you go.
thank you. Carol, would you like to come up here? I'll get to everybody, so.
It's been a while since I've been up here. Y'all miss me. So I came back because there's a few issues that concern me, dealing with the township and the city as a whole, as a citizen. To me, it's deeply concerning that the township CBI program was dismantled due to a loss of a single funding source. This program was a crucial resource for our community, providing direct intervention and support to those impacted by violence. It is unacceptable that the township rely on one grant to sustain such an essential program, rather than exploring multiple funding opportunities to ensure its continuity. The CBI program has made a tangible difference in our community, helping countless individuals and families affected by violence. Just last year, when the community was devastated by the mass shooting, we all came together to support the man's family and others in need, and the CBI team played a vital role in that healing process, demonstrating the program's importance. For the township to eliminate this program in a matter of hours without transparency or attempts to secure alternative funding is severe mismanagement of resources and a disservice to the people of Joliet, and we deserve answers. I have it's a young guy that I know, just to show the significance of the program. This young guy that I know, he's 17. I've been knowing him since he was a little kid. There was interactions with his father and other people that led him to get to the point that his life was in danger for actions that weren't even his. So he was walking around with a gun. He called it gun case, right? I was gonna send him to the CBI team, not only to, for resourcing, but also so somebody could serve as a mediator and maybe help that situation so that eventually somebody may not lose their life. You know what I mean? Who was born into that. Like, so, man, it's a lot of questions. Like, why was the CBI program solely dependent on one funding source? And were alternative funding options explored? What steps, if any, were taken to secure additional funding before dismantling the program? What is the township's plan to address community violence moving forward? How does the township intend to support the individual families who relied on CBI program services? What will happen to the building and resources previously used for the CBI program? How does the township plan to regain the trust of the community after this abrupt decision? And, our community deserves a proactive approach to addressing violence and not a reactive one. We call on the township to provide transparency, explore funding alternatives, and commit to rebuilding and sustaining programs that directly impact the well-being of our residents. So also, my other issues were that, I'm not sure if everybody here is familiar with it, but the Attorney General had issued their findings on a 3-year investigation onto the Joliet Police Department. In those findings, what the Attorney General documented was that they found that the Joliet Police Department acts with racial bias against Black and brown citizens of Joliet, right? That they don't hold the officers who are responsible for unlawful acts accountable. They have a lack of, accountability within the department, within their disciplinary procedures. They kinda hide things so the investigation goes to ways where the, officers are, never really found guilty of any wrongdoing. And, 8 days after releasing these findings, David Malito Jr. was killed, in custody. The initial reports were that, he was handcuffed and he fell, right? That story changed 3 times over the course of a week. We seeing the same pattern over and over and over, right? They have the evidence, the state's attorney won't release anything, they'll constantly say that it's an ongoing investigation. So anybody cam footage or any coroner's reports will be withheld from the family for like 6 months, right? And I know this because we've seen this happen, over and over out here. It's just that we, as people, sometimes get caught up in our day-to-day life, and if something doesn't affect you directly, you really don't have time to pay attention to it. But this is what's going on, as a community. I admire the work that you were doing, right? Because persistence and consistency is the key. And you guys have put a lot into that, and it's needed for the community, right? And something that didn't happen overnight. And so change doesn't happen overnight, but we do need to see a lot of change. And if we pay attention to what's going on and we come together as a community, we can get the change that we want. The findings that were in the Attorney General's reports are the same things that I was saying in front of his office in 2021 that had him take action to get me first removed from the board as a trustee, and then secondly attack me personally and have me indicted on a crime that we found out that the way that they did that was illegal. So you guys will see that coming out in April. It was in the paper the other day. So community is something, and people who stand up and ask questions for the community need support of other citizens in the community, because you are the people that we fight for. If you're not doing the work yourself, then the community is who we fighting for. They not going out there to get the aqueducts and make sure that we got water for themselves. They doing it for all of us. So we gotta stick together, we gotta stand together, and if, you see something that's not right, you gotta say something about it. Because like Dr. Martin Luther King said, it's always the right time to do the right thing. Thank you.
Is there anybody else? You need to state your name and what you're gonna speak at.
Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Leary, I'm a Joliet resident. I just want to piggyback off of what Carl was stating about the Attorney General did an investigation 3 years ago and the findings came back all to be factual. I just wanted to update the community that the Attorney General will be having a community meeting Wednesday, February the 19th, from 4 p.m. to 5:30 to talk about the findings and next steps in the process at the Joliet Historical Museum. So if you guys are available to come out, the Attorney General office will be there. So if you can find time on Wednesday, February 19th, from 4 p.m. to 5:30. Thank you.
Is there no registration you can just?
It states to register. It says to participate, please RSVP via email to input.joliet@ilag.gov. Input.joliet@ilag.gov.
My name is Rosa Calvillo. I am a Joliet Township resident. I live on 1626 Mohawk Street in unincorporated Joliet. My family and I have been having issues every time it rains and the rainwater floods our home driveway. We are very concerned that the foundation of the driveway have been damaged by the rainwater. There needs to be better drainage to address the excess water in the street. Although rainwater and melted snow inundates the driveway in the street. All the rainwater and inundates the driveway in our street and the front yard as well. We have elderly parents who can no longer visit because of the condition of the driveway, much less when it rains. I have brought the videos for you to view on my phone. This is my driveway. So every time it rains or it snows and everything melts, it goes onto our driveway. And it's literally going in the garage and then our foundation, it's really bad. I mean, but then my husband also had to clean the sand and rocks, gravel that we get on the driveway, so it's like, you know, it's bad.
What is your address again?
1626 Mohawk Street. 60432 is the zip code. In the past, I have made numerous calls and emails to the township office and the road district. I have spoken to Anna Campa, who emailed the highway commissioner to no response. I have also spoken to Eric at the road district back on February 7th of 2021, who said that he called the city of Joliet and that the city was aware of the issue. Eric also mentioned that the engineer overseeing the water project knew there was going to be drainage issue with my property and that the engineer was told to proceed with the project. He also told me to wait until the next election. So I waited a whole year and I called back on April 25th of 2022 and nothing is still resolved. I don't understand why the township can advocate for my family as I am a township taxpayer. My family and I are also frustrated as we fear our home, foundation, and driveway are damaged. My family and I would greatly appreciate a solution to our daily problems. We pray daily that it doesn't rain or snow as this affects our whole household. Thank you for your time and attention to this matter. And I also have plenty of videos. So thank you so much.
Can you step by the clerks and provide your information?
Yes.
Because I want to follow with Vince on this issue. Oh, we can reach out to you.
Thank you.
My name is Amy Sanchez. I'm a resident of Joliet. I'm here representing myself and no other organization, entity, or person. I have to find my glasses. I printed in large enough font. So on April 12th, 2022, I had the honor to serve as moderator for the annual town hall meeting here at Joliet Township. And I indicated it was an honor to serve as a neutral party for the people, not as a favor, but as a transparent member of the electors or the citizens in the room. We thanked folks for trusting the accountability, and I raised my hand to God to take the role as a moderator. And I said, as a grassroots community organizer, I've always said, until people who look like us, who come from where we come from, every color of the rainbow, sitting at these tables, making decisions openly and transparently, only then can we be truly represented and heard. And I encourage folks in the room to come out to the next meeting and to also do the same thing with other governing bodies as well, such as City Hall and County. The next year, on April 11th, 2023, I again had the privilege to serve as moderator for the annual town hall meeting hosted by the Joliet Township government. And I indicated after the history of the township was read how important it was to build on the foundation of where we've been in order to move into the future. We acknowledged a high school student who was in the room as a symbol to the future that we moved into. We also talked about intellectual property and the value that each of us bring into the room as humble volunteers and servants to the community. We voted as electors to delegate the authority to the governing body to buy, sell, and lease property and inquire about expanded needs. At that point, the supervisor spoke about some exciting news, sharing that Joliet Township was able to position itself to fill in gaps coming off of the pandemic, that there were opportunities because Joliet Township was not working in silos, however, collaborators and partners. And this allowed us to pivot and go after bigger resources that the community needed and collaborating with existing partners and institutions. And once that announcement, came into fruition in expanding program and services, but actually going after additional resources and funding to the tune of tens of millions of dollars from the state of Illinois. We positioned ourselves to go after violence prevention grants, and these were very detailed and explained like there's a lot that goes into this. Violence prevention and intervention work, and the $2 million would allow 18 full-time staff members to work specifically with the community. Joliet Township was at the forefront, and IDHS was so impressed that they want to model what the township was doing as an example. And that we want to govern ourselves to use our staff to work with cities and schools and beyond. The administration had the foresight to get ready to build professional capacity and to bring these resources beyond the borders of Joliet Township. And this is what was identified as governing, and we want to institutionalize the work that actually works. We want to expand our footprint to build and sustain resources. And we want to put positive pressure on other governing bodies to do the same. And at that time, I extended my hats off to the trustees, the administration, and the elected body. And I indicated that trauma response to violence, specifically gun violence, is needed. But the local advisory committee for the Illinois Office of Firearm Violence Prevention worked very hard to identify Joliet as a high-density, high-gun violence targeted area. And that the amount of gun violence in this area has been massive, but the response has been lacking. So I thanked everyone for their foresight and their vision. And I also shared on multiple occasions that we, as the community, would be walking these projects through hand in hand and watching them to ensure it was implemented and sustained properly, and that the right folks were in place to do the work. In my truest transparent form, I identified that these resources were very personal to me, having a lived experience surviving gun violence myself. That if, God forbid, there was ever a school shooting or a workplace shooting, that there would be trauma response and resources available immediately. But in the hood, in the neighborhood that we all lived in and served, that identify largely all of Joliet Township, we never had that. So this opportunity for funding and to have the local governing body step up and apply, and I referenced the scripture in Isaiah where it says, who will go, and it says, send me, I will go. And this governing body stood up and stepped up to take this on, and I indicated how bold and audacious it was to be a leader doing this work. And then the Joliet Township Community Violence Intervention Program went on to do great, phenomenal work that was really needed in the neighborhoods for so many, being recognized even nationally for all of the work that's being done in the neighborhoods for so many, being recognized even nationally for all of the work that's being done and it was modeled after. So now, I understand that this portion is comments and not questions, so I want to identify some of those questions for your consideration to think about and follow up on. I must ask what happened, where did the program go? How was this grant not awarded? It seemed like it was sustainable, it seemed like it was working very well and it was being awarded. When was the no-fault application period? When was the grant submitted? How was the public notified that this program no longer exists? How was the staff notified? These are all questions that I think the community deserves an answer to. I'm a program director, I manage lots of grants as well myself, and I tell my staff and hold them accountable, especially when we're implementing new grants or new proposals. And I also say it to the stakeholders across the entire Chicagoland region, that in communities like ours that have been living in underserved communities, underrepresented communities, underserviced communities, it does more harm than good to introduce hope and then rip it away. And I say this a lot to the staff because so many of them come from different areas or different walks of life, that you can't come here and just build something up and then rip the Band-Aid off and disappear, because a community that has been set up for failure or who have been abandoned by elected officials, by programs, by the sames, I call them, the same old folks getting the same old grant funding, doing the same old work, and nothing ever changes. We can't even get a pothole filled. We can't even get drainages in front of our homes and stuff. So it does something, and it strains the trust in the community when these programs are ripped apart. I believe with my whole heart and all integrity that the folks doing this work were doing it well. I believe that the intentions at the time and even still now for violence prevention and violence intervention are pure. I believe that it was meant well, but I do believe that the community and the public deserve some type of notification and answers. So when the trustees and the administration have that information. I think it is very important to roll out what this looks like, what is still funded, what's available, and how we plan to, work together moving forward to hopefully get the grant again, or get some other type of funding, or make it a line item, which I know has been done for other types of resources. Because community violence intervention, you guys were very, very bold and very audacious. Nobody in the region, in the state was doing this type of work, so please be mindful of the communities that we serve, that these resources are really needed, and what this looks like moving forward. Thank you.
I just wanna make a comment, about public comment. We, as a rule, do not ask questions of the people making the presentations or try to answer the questions they have. But I would request, Amy, I would like to have your questions so we can get back to you. And anybody else that has questions, especially about that grant, well, I think we all still have questions about it. There's some things that are beyond our control, but we do need to get that out to you, and I understand that. So if we could have your list of questions, if you could give a copy to Anna, we will get answers to you.
Thank you.
Moving on after, well, first, is there any more public comment? Well, thank you for your public comments, they were all very good, excellent. Now we're gonna move into our budget session, and to do that, we have to enter into a public hearing. And to do that, we have to suspend our meeting right now. You don't have to go anywhere, but we have to suspend the meeting. I'm correcting that, right?
The semantics are unimportant, you just need to open the public hearing.
Okay, very good. This is our attorney, he's keeping me out of trouble. Okay, well, let's go into the public meeting, and first we need a motion to go into the public meeting.
I move we enter into the public hearing section to discuss the following items: amended budget and appropriation for Township Ordinance number 405-2025, and amended budget appropriation road district ordinance number 2025-03.
Second?
Call for the vote.
Roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Ivan, you wanna come up here and
Yeah,
explain what you have given us?
so I spoke about the amended budget last meeting. I'll go off road district first. Road didn't have any other changes from the prior meeting. They're still fine with that. Again, theirs was largely due to engineering services and road projects. That went over, so we had an amended budget to accommodate. The current one, general town did have some increases, totaling $240,000. Majority of that was for the water project set aside and employee insurances. And we need operating supplies. And the last part was DryWorks. DryWorks has been, I mean, it's a good thing, it's getting more participants, but it was a lot faster than it was the first year. So those were the major parts in the $240,000 that increased for the general town budget this time. Any questions? Again, I can go over the reason we amend. So we have a budget, obviously you wanna get you spend money according to the budget. There's two options if you spend over a line item. One is to do a transfer appropriations. So if you go over less than 10%, you can do that, and you don't need to amend the budget. But we did need to amend the budget because our expenditures were over the 10% for the current line items, so. Any questions or any other?
Any questions?
That was good with the last meeting.
Yeah.
The presentation,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds good, thank you.
And I have to say, the the verification of the notice too that was sent out. So I'm just gonna say that. That I verify the accordance with the public notice for the Joliet Township government published in the Joliet Herald News on Tuesday, January 14, 2025, for the public hearing on the Joliet Township amended budget and appropriation township ordinance number 405-225, that's occurring right now. So I'm gonna read this. The public notice, public hearing, Joliet Township government. Notice is hereby given that an amended budget and appropriation ordinance for general town, general assistance, senior citizens, capital fund, and animal control center for Joliet Township government, Will County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning April 1st, 2024, and ending March 31, 2025, will be on file and conveniently available for public inspection at the office of the township clerk, Joliet Township government offices, 175 West Jefferson Street, Joliet, Illinois, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Commencing on Tuesday, January 14, 2025. Notice is further given that a public hearing on said amended budget and appropriation ordinance will be held at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, February 11, 2025, at the Joliet Township government offices, Town Hall Meeting Room, 175 West Jefferson Street, in Joliet, Illinois. Final action on this ordinance will be taken at the regular scheduled town board meeting to be held immediately following the public hearing of the date and time stated above by Lisa Morales, Township Supervisor, Stephanie Linnea, Township Clerk, dated Friday, January 10, 2025.
Okay, thank you. Now we need a motion to, close the public hearing.
Before we close it, if we can provide an opportunity for any questions or comments from the public regarding the amendment.
Okay. Are there any questions concerning our fiscal year budget that ends March 31, 2025 for both the general township and for the road district?
Rhett, oh no, you introduced yourself. I was trying to follow along. Did you say, is there a copy online visible or provided paper copies, or where do I access that?
Oh, yeah, so we have, I have copies if you want copies as well. We have it in the township. So we have one by the receptionist, a copy of in the township clerk's office, and a copy in the back.
Are they available online?
Available online, usually those aren't available online, it's only in the township.
Okay.
Yeah. You can
They're
call in and
available
request, yeah, and once they're approved, that's when it's available online.
And if you could state your name for the Rhett Bawalda, Township resident, Joliet Township resident. Thank you.
Any other questions at all? Hearing none, let's, I want to hear a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to close the public hearing for the amended budget for 2025 for both the township and the road district. So could I have the vote on that?
Voice vote, yes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay. Moving on now back into regular business. I'd like a motion to adopt the amended budget and appropriation ordinance number 405-2025 for the township.
I make a motion to adopt the amended budget and appropriation township ordinance number 405-2025.
Second.
Okay, is there any other discussion on it here? Hearing no discussion, call for the vote.
Voice call, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Should we
Let's do
have?
a roll call.
A roll
Yeah,
call
roll
on that
call,
one?
yeah.
Okay, all right. Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Scupia?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, now, I call for a motion for the, budget and appropriation, ordinance 2025-03 RD for the road district.
I make a motion to adopt amended budget and appropriation road district ordinance number 2025-03 RD road district.
Second.
Any discussion among the board members on it? Okay, I call for the vote.
Okay, for that one, I did have to also, verify with the public notice on the, road district one before the adoption.
Okay,
If you want to just note that the notice was adequately provided and we can include a copy by reference.
Oh, that works. Okay. Alright. So, that's all because I was. Okay. So this one's for the, road district, correct?
Correct.
yeah.
Okay. So who was the first one?
Trustee Edwards.
Edwards? Okay. And the second one?
I did second.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Spitzer?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Moving on, this is Women's History Month, and we have a proclamation I need to have approved. So could I have trustee Tanya Arias read the proclamation?
Sure. Hello. Make it official. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So for proclamation for Women's History Month 2025, whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation and community in countless recorded and unrecorded ways, and whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of life of the nation and constitute a significant portion of the labor force inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation. And whereas American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation and community. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other social and political movements. And whereas American women deserve all the rights, privileges, and acknowledgments afforded all human beings in our society, and now therefore be resolved that the trustees of Joliet Township Government hereby proclaims March 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2025 as Women's History Month in Joliet Township Government, adopted this 11th day of February, 2025.
Do I hear a motion to approve this proclamation?
So moved.
I don't pick hers. Second.
Call for the vote.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Scutia?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Moving on, we have one more proclamation. March is also the Social Workers Month. So I'm gonna have Antoine read this proclamation.
Proclamation Social Work Month 2025. Whereas people have entered the social work profession for generations because they genuinely care about helping improve the welfare of people, families, communities, and our nation. And whereas social workers follow the code of ethics, which sets as the primary mission of the social work profession the enhancement of human well-being, the meeting of basic human needs of all people, with particular attention to the needs and empowerment of those who are vulnerable, oppressed, and living in poverty. And whereas social workers work in all parts of our society, including schools, social service agencies, veteran centers, and government, helping people, family, and community secure services and policies they need to thrive. And whereas social workers are at the forefront of pressing issues our nation is addressing, including increased needs for mental health care, especially for those children and adolescents, and substance use disorder treatment, and increased economic and political division. And whereas social workers help protect millions of children from abuse and neglect, provide services and support, which help strengthen families that are under stress, and help create new families through adoption. And whereas research proves the presence of social workers in schools, hospitals, and assisted living facilities, improve education and health outcomes and quality of life for students, patients, and residents. And whereas the 2025 Social Work Month theme, Social Work, Compassion plus Action, embodies the fact that social workers go through years of education and training, so they have the skills and expertise to transform their care for others into action that brings positive results. And now therefore be resolved in recognition of the numerous contributions made by America's social workers that the trustees of Joliet Township government hereby proclaims March 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2025 as Social Work Month in Joliet Township government, adopted this 11th day of February, 2025.
Do I hear a motion approving this proclamation?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Call for the vote, please.
Yes, trustee Ellis?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Scoutier?
Aye.
Trustee Snyder?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Moving on to, moving on to reports. Is Jacqueline Smith here?
Yes.
Okay. Jacqueline? Jacqueline's our lead transportation coordinator, and she'll give us the activity for the last month.
Yes, good evening, everyone. So for transportation, things have been going as usual. We completed 765 trips for the month of January. 149 of those trips were dedicated to transporting seniors. We've seen an increase in dialysis appointments and therapy appointments with our seniors. We are also waiting on a finalization of our IGA with the Will County Sheriff's Office. And we extended 3 MOUs for family guidance, will running medical, and food care. But other than that, it's just it.
Thank you. Director of Human Resources, Erica Holmes, not here. Pat? General Assistance Director?
So Sue and Alejandro represented the township at the Joliet Central High School for the annual State of the Address. I met with the supervisor and we made our annual adjustments to income qualifications and amounts given for assistance. Due to the increase in housing costs and inflation, we made rather substantial increases in both at the request of the supervisor. So just an FYI, housing went up 15%, rental housing went up 15% in the last year. Tax season has started and it is busy. We've been doing it for less than 2 weeks now. We've already prepared 66 returns. We are seeing a large increase in migrants filing due to their ability to access work permits and TPS. So that allows them the social security cards that they need to properly file. And I anticipate no problems meeting or exceeding last year's numbers. Will County Center for Community Concerns will be here on February 19th, so that's next Wednesday, taking applications for LIHEAP. We will also have representatives from Catholic Charities here to speak to our clients about their senior services. So Catholic Charities has opened up a whole new division that's strictly providing services for senior citizens, and they've got some pretty nifty services that they're giving out, so they can go there and get their certification for their discounted license plates. So it's things like that that will be useful for our residents to know about. And we've also got the Illinois Extension Project coming, and they'll be giving out information on food and nutrition. Beyond that, we're on the busy side, and it's business as usual.
Thank you.
Questions?
Well, I just want to say, to elaborate on what your department does, if you could provide like last year's versus where you are now, just to give like the community, everybody, just kind of think of how hard you guys are working.
Okay.
In future meetings, I would appreciate.
So every year I strive to find new programs that we can add to our repertoire. Last year we added a vehicle repair program. So under that program, township residents that are working but can't afford to repair that vehicle to continue working can come here, and if they income qualify, they can get assistance with their car repairs. So whatever my program cannot pay, because there are restrictions, everything is based upon household size. So if your repair is $1,000 and you only eligible for $800, they have to pay that $200, and then they can come back to us for that $800, but that's only for residents that are working. We also added SHIP counseling last year. So SHIP counseling is the senior health insurance program. And underneath that program, we are able to give guidance to senior citizens on what choices that they should make for Medicare and Medicaid. The taxes, we added that right after Angel came in as supervisor. Our previous supervisor wouldn't let us do taxes. Angel was nice enough to let us do taxes, so we do run a VITA program. And last year, our VITA program did 600 tax returns. So we combine our efforts with Will County Center for Community Concerns. JJC came on as a partner last year, and now University of St. Francis as a partner. All of those tax returns eventually make their way to this office, and each and every one of those tax returns has a final review done here before it can get filed. They're electronically filed with the IRS. It's done free of charge. For senior citizens, regardless of income, it is free of charge. For people that are not seniors, is if you made $65,000 or less. But the other side of the coin is if you made $70,000 and you got a handful of kids in the house, we're not going to turn you away. Those tax returns are prepared free of charge. They're electronically filed. And because they're VITA tax returns, they're considered cream of the crop. They float to the top, and those folks will, on the average, get their tax refund direct deposited into their bank accounts within 7 to 10 days of filing. So it helps so that our residents that are struggling for funds don't get caught up in your H&R Blocks and all those crazy high interest loans that they give out to get your tax funds quickly. So it's a huge, huge service to our residents. Beyond that, we do assistance with past due rent, with utility disconnects. We are the only ones that do water disconnects. So if a resident gets a water disconnect, they've got to come to us for help, because Community Concerns no longer gets water funding, and there are no other agencies out there doing water. And that's just huge. If your water gets turned off, the city can come in and red tag that house, and now not only do you not have water, you don't have a home anymore. So these are the type of programs that we're running out of this department, and I'd like to think that it's very advantageous to our taxpayers and our residents.
Thank you.
Back question. Do you guys do back taxes?
Back taxes, I can go 4 years back.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I got a question too. You had said
If we
that,
could save questions for the end,
same for me.
outside of the meeting,
Okay.
that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Moving on, is Lachey Hudson here? No? Okay, Keisha Ellis then? Keisha's with our violence prevention program.
Hello, everyone. My report is a little bit lengthy today, as this will serve as my final report. As of February 3rd, 2025, the Joliet Township Government Community Violence Intervention Program could not remain operational. As of today, February 11, 2025, I am actively working the transition plans to ensure the smooth closure of the CBI program. These transition plans, which I developed to ensure minimal disruption, will guide the process in a way that is organized and professional. We are committed to maintaining support for program participants and community stakeholders during the transition period. The CBI program has had a profound impact on the greater Joliet area. The CBI program has had a profound impact on the greater Joliet area, directly contributing to the reduction of violence and the provision of critical services for individuals impacted by violence. Over the course of the program's operation, we have supported numerous individuals and families, providing essential resources for those who have been affected by the increased violence in the area. These services were available throughout the life of the program, ensuring that victims received the help they needed in times of crisis. These services included temporary housing, which was an immediate support that was provided to victims and their families to secure safe and stable housing while following incidents of violence. Long-term relocation assistance for those in need of more permanent solutions. Burial assistance. The program provided financial support for funding for funeral and burial costs for victims and their families, food supplement and clothing assistance. Victims and their families receive food and clothing assistance to address their immediate needs during difficult times, as well as emerging needs for everyday survival. As we are now post-anniversary to the tragic Nance family shooting, which had a profound impact on many lives within the Joliet and the greater Joliet area. This incident marked the first mass shooting that any violence prevention program in Joliet was called to handle. In response to the mass shooting, the CBI program provided immediate support to those affected, ensuring that the family received the assistance during the time of imaginable loss and trauma. This event highlighted the critical role of the CBI program in responding to the major acts of violence and offering support during the most challenging times. Throughout its operation, the CBI program has assisted hundreds of individuals in the greater Joliet area. The services provided were essential in helping victims and their families regain stability, access to necessary resources, and rebuild their lives after incidents of violence. The program's work has not only focused on immediate relief, but also on long-term recovery, offering a holistic approach to addressing the needs of those affected by violence. While the CBI program has ended, the Joliet Township will continue to support the transportation needs of any past clients. Additionally, the Township's general assistance services remain available to assist with tax preparations, ensuring that clients still have access to critical resources. Also, the micro pantry at the Mitchell Center remains operational and is still being filled daily with readily accessible foods and Narcan for the community. This pantry continues to serve as an essential resource for individuals in need of immediate assistance. Executive leadership will officially announce the closure of the CBI program to the Joliet community and community partners. This announcement will be made in alignment with the proper procedures for the dissolution of any operating program under Joliet Township government. They will ensure that stakeholders are informed in a decent and respectful manner, ensuring that they understand how this transition will affect services going forward. The end of the CBI program marks a difficult moment for the greater Joliet area, as well as Joliet itself. As we lose a vital resource for violence prevention and victim assistance. However, the impact that the program has had on our community will not be forgotten, and the lessons learned from its operation will continue to shape our efforts in the future. We will continue to work diligently. I will continue to work diligently through the transition phase to ensure a seamless end to the program. I want to thank all parties involved for their support and commitment throughout the program's operation. Lastly, I would like to ask any staff member of the program to stand. Lastly, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the hard work, dedication, lastly, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the hard work, dedication, and compassion of each and every staff member who has worked with the CVI program. These workers have truly stood in the gaps for the community, offering support and guidance during the most difficult parts and moments in the lives of their residents. Their tireless efforts have made a difference in the lives of many, and their commitment to helping those will not be forgotten. It has been a privilege to work alongside such an incredible team. Any comments, any questions?
So I do wanna say, I am truly thankful for everyone who was part of that CBI program. Not only members here, you all did a fantastic job. I will hear nothing but wonderful things from the community, from different stakeholders, everything that was happening. I know I still have some questions, I'm still waiting answers on. I know for the rest of us trustees, you also have some questions. But I do want the staff here to know that we truly do appreciate all the hard work you did. It did not go out without us noticing everything you did. And there are lessons learned, that we can put forward to different programming. But again, thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you very much. That was a great presentation. Thank the staff also for all your hard work. And like Tanya said, you do have a reputation now. So thank you very much. And there are a lot of questions to still be answered. Moving on, Becky, Animal Control.
This month, we're pleased to introduce a new veterinarian technician. His name is Douglas Cachet. He's a graduate of the Veterinary Tech Assistant Program at Deloitte Junior College. Douglas brings value, expertise to our team. His skill set includes assistant veterinary technicians with animal restraint for medical procedures, administering vaccines and medications, performing temperament and medical evaluations for adoptable animals, and supporting various other tasks. We are excited to have him join our team. He's definitely helping give our other staff, our other vet techs, time to work on temperaments and stuff with some of the animals that we have that need a little extra help. It's been giving them some extra time with having him around. He's been great. In October, we partnered with Spay Illinois to apply for a grant from Best Friends Animal Society. We're thrilled to announce that we've been awarded a grant of $29,900. The funds will enable us to offer veterinary care to our community, including surgeries, spays, neuters, pyometria treatments, foreign body removals, dental cleanings, and more. Once Spay Illinois and I finalize the details, we'll share the full information with everyone. And then we're excited to launch this program. The last time we did something like this was years ago, and we had a huge outcome of people bringing their animals in for free spays and neuters, microchips, which made a huge impact in our community. As far as the health of the animal and just the overall bringing down population and stuff too. We just recently had a big donation, when I say big, from the Spanish Community Center, of food for cats, dogs, all kinds of things. One of our new vehicles, it's a high roof Ford Transit. The whole thing was packed. She had sent me emails and I was expecting a few things as far as donations go, but it was absolutely amazing. We were able to put so much of that into our food pantry, and a lot of it has already been dispersed. So we're super thankful for, also included were some toys, blankets, laundry detergent, canned dog food and cat food. In today's world, people are not able to afford to feed themselves, let alone their animals, so it's been a huge, benefit for everybody. In addition, to celebrate Valentine's Day, we are hosting an adoption event called, Meet Your Match from February 11th through the 14th. All cat and dog adoptions will be available for $20, and then, we hope this reduced, animal adoption fee will encourage more families to open their hearts and homes to a furry companion. They still end up having to meet the, standard medical fees, they still apply, but as far as our adoption fees go, it'll just be $20. And that's it. Is there any questions? Thank you.
Moving on, is there anybody here from the behavioral health team? No. Jeff Wallace is our, senior liaison.
Hi, everybody. Since the last board meeting, I've been passing out the senior service calendars from Center Street House from the Ovation Center out on Weber. Joliet Township newsletters, we've had extra, so I passed them out. I'm in the process of passing them all out. I tell the people that live in the township that you might have lost it or misplaced it. Well, here's extra. There's a lot of important phone numbers on there that you need. The senior tax preparation, where if you're a senior, there's no cap, no charge. The medical closet, I had a resident that donated some diabetic medicine that was unused. I gave it to the president of Senior Citizens Association. He's a retired pharmacist. He works at Will Grundy Medical Clinic. He took it down there and used it. And he asked me, this lady have any more stuff, you know, like diapers or pads and all that stuff? I called her up. She says, I got all kinds of stuff here. From her husband who passed away in November. A lot of stuff's not even open. Most of the stuff's not open. So over her house picked it up. Chuck come by my house the other day and I gave it to him. So he's gonna take that down there. People called me after the newsletters first come out, and plus the groups I've already given the newsletters to in the last month have called me inquiring about different groups. And by the time they call me, they know basically who they're looking at. I try to refine that down to what I think that the times they meet. Well, one lady said she wanted to come to this one, but I said they meet at noon. I said I got a group that meets at 5:30 on a given night. I don't give the president's names out, phone numbers out. So I call the president, have him get contact that individual to make sure there's an opening for the people to join. And things that I talk about, other than flyers that I normally pass out, if I learn something that's a different issue or something that's come up in another group, why can't we do this, whatever that thing might be? I pass it on to the other groups that I go to. So they're all known, and you know, whether it's Joliet Township people or out of township people that come to these senior groups, I try to explain to everybody what's available to Joliet Township residents and what is not. Like our ride share is basically Joliet Township. Our tax preparation is not. You know, so I try to distinguish that so people know. And some people that want to borrow stuff, they think it's once they get it, it's like theirs. I said, no, you gotta have it back, what is it, 60 days, I think? I said, if you need it further, then just let me know, but really that's, all I have, and it's, I just wanna say one other thing, you know, I wanna thank Alicia, the town board, and all the elected officers for the hard work that they do to make Joliet Township the best township in the state. And it also makes what I do, easier to represent the township, to help all residents in the township and others that come to my our senior meetings that I go to. I don't consider my job a job. I mean, it is a job, but I've been doing this since late 2017, before my term ended as trustee, because I knew I wanted to be involved with seniors, because I am one. So, it's just, I think when people like doing your job, like you folks, or all of us here at the township, you like doing your job so much, it's not really a job. I mean, you have fun at it, you know? So, is there any questions?
If you don't look a day over 30.
Double that. Over that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to our town clerk, Stephanie.
How you doing?
Hello everybody, my name is Stephanie, I'm the township clerk. So, the town hall meeting is coming up, that's in April 8th. So on the agenda, I did put that March 1st is the last day to request an agenda item for consideration for the electors, so it can appear on the annual town meeting agenda. I also did a page under the Joliet Township website where you can see what you can request, and you can submit it, and then I'll receive it, my information's on there too, so you can send it to my email. And then that will be in consideration for next month's upcoming regular board meeting. And that's my report. I do have the supervisor's report too, she sent it to me.
Okay.
I have to read it. So this is our supervisor's report. This is what Supervisor Morales is saying. We are proud of supporting the feasibility study and to invest in having accessible clean water for our residents in the unincorporated areas of Joliet. Supervisor Morales firmly believes that this project requires collaboration between all units of government and looks forward to supporting the city and county leadership as they navigate this much-needed project. Our Violence Prevention Council Coordinator will continue to grow our local partnerships to sustain residents in need with services. In conclusion, the Forest Park building is now safe to work in. The test results show that the building is mold-free and asbestos-free. Supervisor Morales is meeting with a general contractor next week to begin the blueprint for the scope of work and then put out a notice to bid. We are starting the food pantry project as well in the next few weeks. This will be a simultaneous project with the construction project. And that is her report.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. Okay, that was our final report. Now we're gonna move on to the financial area of the meeting. And I will start this by making a motion to place the cash receipts for the month of January into their proper accounts. Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion at all? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye?
Trustee Stupin?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, moving on to, cash expenditures for the month of January. I, make a motion that we, approve for payment and, the cash disbursements for the month of January of $647,379.66.
Is that for a specific fund or for all?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's for general town fund.
Okay, okay.
Second?
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion on any of those expenditures? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye?
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Stupin?
Aye.
no expenditures in the general town capital fund. So just moving on, going to the Joliet Township Road and Bridge Fund. I make a motion that we approve for payment cash disbursements of $148,126.20 for the month of January.
Second.
Is there any discussion on any of these expenditures? Hearing none, I call for the vote.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Stupi?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to the Joliet Township Senior Fund. I certify as being correct cash disbursements of $610 and approve them for payment.
Second?
Any discussions on the $610? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Stupi?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Moving on to the Joliet Township General Assistance Fund. I certify as correct the cash disbursements for the month of January of $27,478.51 and approve them for payment.
Second.
Any discussions concerning those? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Trustee Stupi?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Moving on to our last fund, the Joliet Township Animal Control Fund. I approve for payment cash disbursements of $86,936.66, and I certify those expenditures as being correct.
Second?
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye?
Trustee Stupi?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Edwards?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Now we move to the next part, adjournment. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I was in a hurry.
Which vote? Yeah, which vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Wade?